Welcome back. Have you ever thought that when a woman loves you deeply, she will always be gentle, kind, and tender like an autumn wind? So cute and so innocent. The truth? The woman who loves you the most is often the one who hurts you the most. Not because she is evil, but because she is scared, afraid to love too much, afraid to lose you, afraid to lose herself in that love. And instead of saying, "I'm scared," she acts cold, snappy, critical, or mysteriously disappears after a wonderful night. No, you're not crazy. You're just in the middle of an emotional storm of a woman trying to keep her heart from breaking because she loves you so much. This video is not for the vulnerable. It's for men who dare to hold their ground, dare to stay with themselves, even when her emotions come crashing down like a tsunami. Number 1. When love hurts the most, why the woman who loves you deeply might also hurt you deeply. It's one of the cruelest ironies in love. The person who holds your heart is also the one most capable of bruising it. She doesn't have to shout. Sometimes it's just the silence after a moment of closeness, the way she pulls away when only seconds earlier she held you like she never wanted to let go. You're left asking yourself, did I do something wrong? But here's the truth most men never learn soon enough. When a woman loves deeply, she becomes emotionally exposed, vulnerable. And that vulnerability is terrifying, not because of you, but because of everything she's been through before you. According to attachment theory, Bowlby, 1988, love awakens old fears, especially the fear of abandonment. When she starts to care, really care, her nervous system scans for danger, not physical danger, but emotional uncertainty. She starts to overthink. She wonders if you'll leave. She watches closely, even subconsciously, for signs that you're not all in. And when she doesn't feel total security, her defense system kicks in. Distance, mood swings, sharp words, silence. It's not rejection, it's protection. And yet, for you, it can feel personal. Intimate moments followed by cold detachment. Sweetness replaced with short replies. But here's what separates the grounded man from the reactive one: he doesn't flinch. He doesn't chase after every mood. He understands. Instead of asking, "Why is she doing this to me?" ask, "What is she afraid of losing?" Because a woman's heart tests you when it wants to trust you. She doesn't want you to beg or explain. She wants to feel your steadiness, your silence, not as withdrawal, but as presence. When you respond to her unpredictability, not with argument or insecurity, but with stillness, something shifts. She sees that you're not here to fix her mood, you're here to withstand it. You become her anchor. Practically, this means that when she shuts down or seems distant, don't interrogate. Don't plead. Say something like, "I'm here if you need me," and let her come to you. Go do your thing. Go to the gym. Work on your craft. Keep your frame. Let your actions whisper, "You don't have to be perfect for me to stay calm." This isn't emotional coldness, it's emotional strength. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. When she sees that your mood is not hijacked by hers, that your calm isn't conditional, her defenses soften, her nervous system feels safe, and that's when the real connection begins. The mistake most men make is trying to solve her pain with explanations. But love isn't solved, it's held, quietly, steadily, without needing to be right or praised. Because sometimes the woman who pulls away right after kissing you isn't losing interest. She's hoping you won't lose patience. That's your cue not to fix, but to stand. Not to demand more, but to give less noise. Let your presence speak louder than your words. Let your silence be strength, not spite. And in time, she'll learn that love can be safe. Because you didn't just love her joy, you embraced her fear, too. Number 2. She tests you because she loves you. It's not random, it's not drama, and it's definitely not because she wants to push you away. It's because she cares more than she's ready to admit. When a woman tests you, especially after moments of closeness, she's not trying to sabotage the connection. She's trying to protect it. In her own way, she's asking, "Are you strong enough to love all of me, even the scared parts?" Maybe it happens after a beautiful night together. The next day, out of nowhere, she questions your intentions or criticizes a habit she used to find endearing. You wonder, what changed? The answer is simple. Nothing on the surface, but everything underneath. Her fear got triggered. Fear of loss, of disappointment, of falling too hard, too fast. According to Evolutionary Psychology Bus 1989, women, especially those who've been hurt before subconsciously, test the emotional strength and stability of a man. Not to punish, but to feel safe. These tests aren't about controlling you. They're about confirming. Will you hold your frame, or will you collapse when things get emotionally messy? The mistake most men make is reacting, defending, explaining, or worse, getting offended. But the high-value man does something different. He remains grounded. When she says, "You don't care about me," after you've spent days proving the opposite, don't spiral. Don't argue. Say calmly, "I'm here for you, but I'm not going to argue about something that isn't true." Then return to your purpose, to your focus. Let her feel your steadiness instead of hearing your speeches. This isn't indifference, it's leadership. Your calmness in the face of her emotional turbulence tells her something no words ever could. "I'm not afraid of your storm, and I don't need your approval to stay centered." That, right there, is the secret. Because what she truly fears isn't your flaws, it's your fragility. She wants to know you won't break when she shows her emotional wounds, that you won't run when she tests the depth of your patience, that your masculinity isn't just skin deep, it's rooted in stillness. This is why Epictetus said, "Control your response, not her emotions." You are not there to fix her, but to reflect steadiness. So how do you handle these tests in practice? First, pause, don't react. If she throws out a cold comment or picks a fight, breathe. Don't explain, don't chase, just ground yourself. Then choose your words from a place of clarity, not insecurity. If she continues to test, remove yourself from the emotional chaos with love, not punishment. Go focus on something that builds you. Finish that work project, go train, spend time in silence. Let her see that her fear won't move you, but your presence will always be there once the storm settles. Because here's the paradox. She'll only stop testing you once she feels safe to do so. And safety doesn't come from pleasing, it comes from presence. From your refusal to let her mood dictate your manhood. So next time she pushes you emotionally, don't ask, "Why is she like this?" Ask, "Am I strong enough to hold the space while she finds herself again?" Because when a woman truly loves you, she doesn't just want to feel butterflies. She wants to feel safe, and that only happens when she knows you can lead, not just in romance, but in resilience. Number 3, when she pushes harder, it's because she feels vulnerable. You might think she's mad at you, or losing interest, or growing tired of the connection. But the truth is more subtle and more powerful. When a woman begins to push you away with sudden criticism, cold distance, or unnecessary complaints, it often happens right after the most emotionally intimate moments. That's not a coincidence, it's a protective instinct. Emotional vulnerability is terrifying for someone who has experienced real heartbreak. And for women, the more they care, the more exposed they feel. So instead of clinging or confessing that fear, they do something counterintuitive. They push. She might criticize the way you text, or act irritated at things she used to laugh off. It might seem like she's testing your patience when, in reality, she's testing her own safety. Subconsciously, she's asking, "Is it safe to love you more? Or will you hurt me if I let my guard down completely?" According to Baumeister and Vos 2004, feelings of weakness or emotional exposure often activate defense mechanisms designed to restore control. In women, that frequently appears as distance or agitation, not because they've fallen out of love, but because they're falling too deeply, and that scares them. So what should you do? Stay calm. Don't take the bait. Don't match her intensity or explain yourself into a corner. Instead, do the opposite. Ground the moment in calm masculine presence. If she lashes out about something minor, how you said something, how you responded too slow, how you didn't seem engaged enough, look her in the eye, breathe, and say gently, "I can tell something's upsetting you. I care, but I won't argue over this." Then walk away, not in anger, but in peace. Go back to what centers you. Read, run, reflect. Let her sit in the silence you've left behind, not as punishment, but as a reminder. Your love is steady, not reactive. Seneca once wrote, "Remain at peace in the face of another's storm." This is one of those moments, because what she truly needs isn't your defense, it's your steadiness. Your refusal to be swept up in her emotional chaos becomes the anchor she unconsciously craves. This is especially true for women who have experienced abandonment or betrayal. The moment they feel joy with you, their brain warns. Don't get too close. Remember what happened last time. That warning shows up in strange ways. Emotional distance, sarcasm, even anger. But here's the key. Don't personalize it. Her momentary aggression isn't about you, it's about the fear of losing you. And fear can make even the most loving person act unrecognizable. Your job is not to fix that fear. It's to show her through unshakable behavior that your presence won't disappear when emotions get difficult. This doesn't mean accepting disrespect. It means disengaging without punishment, setting emotional boundaries while still being available once the storm passes. You don't silence her, you don't scold her, you don't chase her. You simply remain calm, rooted, and fully aware of your value. In doing so, you teach her something most women rarely experience. A man who doesn't flee from vulnerability. A man who doesn't collapse under emotional heat. A man whose strength is not in dominance, but in his restraint. So next time she pushes you, don't fight, don't freeze, just breathe. Because when she pushes harder, it's not a rejection. It's a whispered hope. Can you still love me, even when I'm scared? And if you can answer that question not with words, but with unwavering calm, you won't just pass the test. You'll become unforgettable. Number 4. She hurts you to regain control, but it's not what you think. It's one of the most confusing things a man can experience. You open your heart, you show care, you let her in, and instead of moving closer, she pulls away. She turns cold, she ignores your message, or worse, she flirts with another man, knowing you're watching. It's as if she wants to hurt you, and part of you wonders, was I wrong to care? But what if I told you that pain she causes isn't rejection? It's a strategy, often unconscious, a defensive maneuver, a way for her to restore emotional balance when she feels too close, too exposed, too vulnerable. According to Cialdini's Principle of Psychological Scarcity and Emotional Influence 2001, people often create artificial distance when they feel emotionally overinvested. For women, especially those with past wounds, this can take the form of intentional withdrawal, criticism, or emotional sabotage. Not because she doesn't want you, but because she wants to test how much power she holds, and how stable you remain when that power is shaken. So when she suddenly ghosts your heartfelt message, when she acts indifferent after you've opened up, when she posts a story laughing with another man the day after your date, she's watching. Not just your reaction, but your composition. She's looking for cracks. Will you beg? Will you lash out? Will you crumble? And here's the truth. Your silence in these moments is louder than any words. When you choose not to retaliate, not to play her game, not to compete for her attention, you flip the dynamic. You don't chase control. You reclaim it by not giving her the emotional reaction she's fishing for. You see, a woman who hurts you to regain control is revealing something vital. She's afraid of losing herself in you, and fear disguised as cruelty is still fear. If you respond with anger, she wins because she knows she still controls your emotions. If you collapse into apologies or self-doubt, she wins again because now she feels emotionally safer by being the one who cares less. But if you remain calm, confident, unmoved, she's forced to confront the discomfort she tried to bury under games. Let's say she flirts with someone in front of you. You smile not to pretend you're unaffected, but because you are genuinely above the need to compete. You might say, "I see what you're doing, but I don't play like that." Then you excuse yourself, go enjoy your life, and let your presence disappear for a while. That's Stoic strength. Not silence as punishment, but silence as self-respect. Marcus Aurelius said, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." In this moment, revoke your dependence on her validation. Withdraw your attention not with bitterness, but with purpose. Focus on yourself. Reconnect with your friends. Recenter in your mission. Write down your values. Journal what you stand for as a man. Remind yourself that someone else's chaos does not define your peace. Because the deeper truth is this: when you show that you're not shaken by her attempt to hurt you, you become magnetic. Not because you played it cool, but because you are cool, grounded, rooted in purpose. And nothing is more attractive to a woman than a man who doesn't need to win her affection to know his worth. That's not detachment, that's dignity. And in the silence that follows, she'll hear it, loud and clear. Number 5, how you react reveals everything. You can talk all day about your values, your boundaries, or how mature and self-aware you are, but the moment she pushes your buttons, the truth spills out. Not in your words, in your reaction. That moment when she withdraws without warning or tests your emotional resolve with a passive-aggressive comment, that's the battlefield. That's when your energy speaks louder than your voice. And in that moment, she's not looking at what you say, she's reading how you handle it. Do you chase? Do you get defensive? Do you blow up and explain yourself into oblivion? Or do you stay centered, calm, and collected, like a man who doesn't need to prove anything? Your reactions are the mirror of your self-worth. Most men, when faced with a woman's emotional coldness or criticism, take the bait. They try to fix it, they argue, they defend themselves, and every time they do, they unknowingly reveal something crucial, that their center of gravity lies outside themselves. According to Emotional Intelligence Research Goldman, 1995, the most attractive trait isn't charm or intelligence, it's the ability to regulate your emotions under pressure. When you stay calm in the storm, you communicate safety, control, and strength. And those qualities are rare. That's why they're magnetic. Imagine this. She starts pulling away. Instead of spiraling, you lean back. You say, "I'm here when you're ready." You don't guilt trip her. You don't launch into over-explaining. You don't react from fear. You respond with presence. That moment right there, it's not about winning her back. It's about showing her, and more importantly, yourself, who you are. And yes, sometimes she'll test you, not because she's manipulative, but because she needs to know if your strength is real or just talk. Anyone can be chill when things are easy. But what happens when the emotional temperature rises? That's when leadership shows. So what do you do when you feel triggered? Pause. Breathe. Feel the emotion, but don't act on it. Say less, mean more. Instead of fighting for control, reclaim your inner ground. Go work out, learn something, create, reconnect with your purpose. Your response doesn't have to be loud to be powerful. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. That's not a cute quote, it's a lifestyle. When you learn to master your reactions, you stop being pulled by every emotional gust that blows through your relationship. You become the stable center she can orbit around, not because she needs to, but because she wants to. And here's the twist. When she realizes you won't lose your mind over her fluctuations, she feels safer around you, not because you're indifferent, but because you're reliable. Your emotional stability gives her space to be soft. It invites vulnerability. It creates polarity. That's the paradox. Your calm is what gives her permission to feel. You don't earn her respect by fixing everything. You earn it by not needing to, by being the man who doesn't flinch, who doesn't chase chaos, and who quietly walks away when necessary, not in anger, but in clarity. So next time she tests you, don't see it as a challenge to win. See it as an invitation to reveal who you are. Let your reaction say, I know my value. I don't need to raise my voice to prove it. Because in the end, it's not the noise that commands respect. It's the silence between your words and the power behind them. Number 6, stop chasing, start leading. There's a reason the guy who never double texts, who shows up with quiet confidence and who seems more invested in his purpose than in anyone's approval, ends up being the one she obsesses over. It's not about playing games, it's about energy, and most men get it backwards. We're taught that if you like someone, you pursue, you chase, you prove your worth, you show her how much you care. But here's the psychological twist that trips most men up. The more you chase, the less she feels drawn in, not because she's ungrateful or playing hard to get, but because chasing screams insecurity. When you flood her inbox, bend your schedule, cancel your gym sessions, or keep checking if she's still into you, you're no longer a man with direction. You're a man looking for permission to feel worthy, and she feels it, all of it. That's when attraction starts to fade, slowly, like a flame that loses its oxygen, not because you aren't enough, but because you abandoned yourself trying to win her. According to Evolutionary Psychology Bus, 1989, women are drawn to men who signal competence, leadership, and direction. These traits reflect safety and strength. Chasing, by contrast, often comes from a place of emotional scarcity, of needing validation before taking action. But leadership is different. Leadership invites. It doesn't beg. It offers. It doesn't plead. So instead of trying to keep her attention, build a life that holds yours. Instead of sending a just checking in text when she goes quiet, finish that project you've been procrastinating on. Go for that hike you keep talking about. Hit the gym, learn the guitar. Whatever ignites your internal fire, do that. Then, when you want her in your life, don't chase, invite. Say, I'm going hiking this weekend. Want to come? That's it. No neediness, no emotional hook, just an open door into a world that already has momentum. Because that's what women truly want, not a man orbiting them, but a man pulling them into gravity. Someone grounded in purpose. Someone who knows where he's going and isn't waiting for permission to walk. Seneca once said, live in accordance with your nature and others will follow. When you stop asking women how to be attractive and start living like you already are, they feel it. It's not magic, it's presence, and presence is magnetic. You see, the paradox is this. When you stop chasing, you stop running from yourself. You begin to lead. You begin to breathe. You become the kind of man who doesn't need her to follow, but who knows she will, because the path you walk is compelling on its own. So no more chasing for comfort or attention. Lead your life. Invite her to be a part of it. And if she joins, it's because she sees what you already know. You don't need to be chosen when you've already chosen yourself. Number 7, she doesn't hate you. She's just scared to feel that much. There's a moment every man dreads. You open your heart. You say something real. You tell her what she means to you, maybe for the first time. And instead of softening, she hardens. She pulls back. Her voice sharpens. She throws a wall up where you expected warmth. You wonder what went wrong. and quietly you assume the worst. She's pushing me away because she doesn't care. But here's the twist. Often when a woman loves deeply, she doesn't get softer, she gets scared. Her reaction isn't rejection, it's defense. When she tells you, "You don't understand me," after you just bared your soul, it's not because she hates you. It's because that level of emotional closeness makes her feel out of control. Vulnerability for many women, especially those with insecure attachment histories, feels like standing naked in a storm. It's terrifying, it's too real. So instead of leaning in, she creates distance. That's her armor. According to attachment theory Bowlby, 1988, people who fear abandonment often respond to closeness by pulling away. Not because they don't want love, but because love makes them feel exposed. And being exposed means giving someone the power to hurt you. So what looks like coldness is often panic. What looks like criticism is often fear. She's testing not whether you love her, but whether she can survive loving you. Now, this doesn't mean you should excuse toxic behavior. It means you have to understand the emotional terrain you're walking into. If you respond to her defensiveness with your own, you've both lost. 2 closed hearts, 2 bruised egos, 0 connection. But if you recognize her walls as fear, not contempt, you can respond with calm strength. You don't need to fix her feelings. You don't need to chase her down. You simply hold your ground. You say, "I can see something shifted. I'm here when you're ready to talk." And then you return to your purpose, your life, your presence. No resentment, no pleading, just steadiness. That moment is everything, because it teaches her that your love doesn't require her to perform. It shows her that you don't lose your center just because she loses hers. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Understand the character of the person you're dealing with and treat them as they deserve, not with anger, but with understanding." That is real leadership in a relationship. Not reacting to her pain, but reading it. Not retreating into silence, but remaining present without needing to control the outcome. Modern research supports this. Women with avoidant or anxious attachment styles often cycle between craving connection and fearing it. What they need most isn't more attention, it's emotional stability. When a man doesn't get shaken by their push-pull behavior, something shifts inside them. They begin to trust. They feel safe enough to stay open. So next time she flinches at closeness, don't take it personally. Don't assume her fear is a verdict on your worth. Instead, see it for what it is, a quiet battle between her desire to be seen and her terror of being abandoned. Your role is not to fight that battle for her. It's to be the calm presence beside her while she faces it. That's how you stop being just another man in her story. That's how you become the anchor she didn't know she needed. Because love isn't just about connection, it's about handling disconnection with grace. And sometimes the strongest thing you can do is stay soft when she's scared, stay steady when she's shaking, and believe in her heart when she's forgotten how to trust it herself. Number 8. Be the mountain and she will soften. There's something strangely powerful about not reacting. When a woman is spiraling emotionally, when she lashes out, cries, or throws out dramatic accusations, it's not always because she wants to fight. Often what she's actually doing is looking for something solid, something that won't waver, someone that stays standing when the storm hits. That's you, or at least it should be. See, women don't test men for sport. They test to feel safe. When she's emotionally overwhelmed, what she unconsciously wants to know is this: will he crumble under pressure? Will he become reactive like every other man? Or will he hold his frame steady, unbothered, and emotionally self-led? That's where attraction deepens, not through flawless conversations or perfectly timed compliments. It deepens in those subtle moments where your presence remains unshaken while hers wobbles. like when she raises her voice and you don't match her pitch, when she throws a sarcastic jab and you don't flinch, when she's overwhelmed and your breathing slows down rather than speeds up. Let's be honest, most men fail here. They take everything personally. They argue, they mirror her chaos. But the man who quietly says, "I'm here, but I won't fight with you," and then goes back to what matters, that man leaves an imprint. He becomes the one she trusts, because he's the one who can handle her worst without losing himself. Psychologist Daniel Goleman calls this emotional intelligence. And it's not about suppressing feelings, it's about mastering them. When you stop trying to control her emotions and start leading with calm certainty, you shift the dynamic. You go from reactive to responsive, from boy to man, from pleasing to leading. Women don't fall for logic, they fall for emotional tone. The calm depth in your voice, the steadiness in your eyes when she's looking for reasons to panic. That's why telling her calm down never works, but showing her calmness through your own behavior always does. So when she picks a fight over something trivial, don't meet her in the ring. Step back, pause, say, "I understand what you're feeling, but I'm not going to argue about this." Then do something that reinforces your groundedness. Read, meditate, train, build. Not because you're ignoring her, but because you're modeling stability. You're choosing presence over panic. Epictetus once said, "Be the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved and the raging of the sea falls still around it." When you become that rock, the emotional waves around you soften, not instantly, but over time, she'll begin to trust that she doesn't need to test you anymore, because you've proven without words that you're not going anywhere, not into her chaos, not into overreaction, not into emotional self-abandonment. The truth is, leadership in a relationship doesn't look like control. It looks like composure. It looks like being the calm in her storm. And when you live this way long enough, she doesn't just calm down, she leans in. Because the feminine doesn't follow words, it follows groundedness. And when you hold your frame like that, without trying to fix her or prove anything, you create the one thing she truly craves: emotional safety. So be the mountain, not for her approval, but because it's who you are. Let her see that your peace doesn't depend on her behavior, and she'll slowly begin to trust what few women ever get to feel. A man who won't flinch when the wind rises. A man who makes her feel safe without saying a word. Here's what you need to remember after this video. When a woman hurts you, it's not the time to change her. It's the time to look at yourself, to see if you're losing yourself to someone you thought was your true love. Love doesn't test you with sweet words. Love tests you with chaos. And if you crumble every time she withdraws, gets angry, or criticizes, you're not a man she can trust. You're just a reaction. But if you hold on, don't try to fix her, don't need to be loved back immediately, then you've done what 99% of men can't do. You've mastered yourself. If this video makes you realize a part of yourself that was once weak, give it a like. Share it with your brother who is struggling with love. And comment below this sentence to affirm that you are a man who is growing. I don't control her, I control myself. See you in the next videos from Stoic Love, where you learn how to love without losing yourself.